Hey guys, I just watched Justice League and wow, I have some thoughts. Still, this was by far the best DC movie in my opinion so far that I've seen. I went in with like all my merch. I was like repping my favorite DC superhero, Batman. But man, I came out of the movie with a different favorite superhero, so that's always good. In case you're wondering, was the Flash.
Barry Allen. Bruce Wayne.
You said that like it explains why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair. Whoever you're looking for, it's not me. You're the Batman?
I've been hearing a lot about the Flash, especially, the TV show on Netflix, and I never really watched it because I was like, DC, like, just generally have like slightly low expectations from DC. Ezra Miller carried this movie. Like, without him, this movie would have been so flat.
Together a team, people with special abilities. You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are? Just like that?
Yeah, I need friends.
I first thought Ezra Miller and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and he was just kind of like sitting there and like crying like the whole movie, and he had the most awful haircut.
Is that me?
Where's your other sister, Chris? The little one. Where did she go?
And it was just like kind of weird character, but like if you see his like interviews or like behind the scenes, he's like huge Harry Potter nerd. He's really funny, and yeah, he's one of my He's one of my favorite actors now. The Flash in Justice League reminded me so much of Spider-Man in the Avengers that it was like,
Mr. Stark, here's my report for tonight. I stopped a Grand Theft bicycle. Hey, could you do me a favor? Hold on to that. Is this anybody's bike? Oh, I helped this old lady and she bought me a churro. So, that was nice.
he literally played the same part, which is the young, inexperienced, brand new superhero who's always like in awe of like the big guys.
Oh, awesome. As a bat signal, that's your... Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now.
Yeah, that's what that means.
And it had the exact same effect on me. Like, I loved it in Civil War, I loved it in Homecoming, and I loved it in Justice League as well. It was just... it gave you such a, like, a reprieve from, like, the seriousness and the dark, brooding superheroes that are just, like, all the time. People are always like, what's Justice League? And obviously we're always like, oh, it's the Avengers, but with DC. And then people are like, oh yeah, okay. So, I mean, Marvel Avengers came out in 2012, and it's what, 2017? It's been like 5 years. So, like, you know that Justice League has looked at the Avengers and, like, taken out the pieces that have worked. If you look closely, you can see how the Justice League heroes line up with the Avengers, like, pretty easily. It's not too complicated. Wonder Woman's always just chilling in the back with her little, like, quiet smirks and smiles and just, like, laughing to herself at how, like, dumb everybody else is being. Obviously a character foil of Black Widow. Same thing, same attitude.
I'm always picking up after you boys.
The obvious one is Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. They're both like the rich kids who grew up alone and have like a guilt complex that makes them feel like they need to help people and they feel like they're not worthy enough.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich. Someone will call you.
Oh,
All right?
from your team.
It's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not there yet.
Superman and Captain America line up pretty well too. They have like a really strong sense of morality. They see everything as black and white and they just want things to be right again.
Stark, you worry about bringing the city back down safely. The rest of us have one job. Tear these things apart. You get hurt, hurt them back. You get killed, walk it off.
Speaking of Superman, you really didn't think he was dead, did you?
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
Aquaman was actually a really interesting character, but he didn't really have much to do, considering he kind of like lives in the sea and they weren't really fighting in the sea. But he was still like a really entertaining character.
Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. It's on him. Just like a bat. I dig it. Maybe temporary.
I would match him up with Thor, and no, it's not just because they both have long hair, but they do. What a coincidence. But he's just kind of there, and he kind of lives like away from civilization, so he's equally out of place as Thor. So they kind of just don't really know what's going on exactly, but they're still pretty entertaining to watch. And
Thor report on the Hulk?
The gates of hell are filled with the screams of his victims. But not the screams of the dead, of course. No. Wounded screams, mainly whimpering, a great deal of complaining, and tales of sprained deltoids and gout.
I am Thor, son of Odin, and as long as there is life in my breast, I am running out of things to say. Are you ready?
And then you have Victor Stone, who's like some kind of cyborg guy, and I couldn't even catch his like superhero name during the movie. I like literally just googled it, and he's literally called Cyborg, which is like so original.
Organic and biomechatronic body parts. He's a cyborg.
You should probably move.
I think he would probably match up to Rhodey, maybe? Or maybe Falcon, who I just thought of because his picture is like literally hanging like right behind me.
I just want to make sure we consider all our usually wind up shooting at me too.
But yeah, his character's not fleshed out very well. He's kind of closed off because of his like appearance. He doesn't think people will accept him. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from his like the way he was talking.